Good. Okay, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I call this regular meeting of council Wednesday, March the 6th, 2024, 7 p.m. to order, and to acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Stehelas. I have two recalls. Excuse me one second. Under section 131 of the community charter, the mayor may require council reconsideration of a matter. Just a second. Let me move this a little closer to. Is that better? Much better? Everybody can hear me okay there? Okay. Would you like me to start over? I'll start over then. So I call this regular council meeting Wednesday, March 6, 2024, 7 p.m. to order and to acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Stehelas. So I have two items for reconsideration, which council have been made aware of. And it's under section 131 that the mayor may require council reconsideration of a matter. So the first one is it's on the council I don't think council actually has a copy of it. But it's from the previous, it would be from the February the 5th regular council meeting. And I'll just read it out to council. Bear with me. And this is a recall on the decision for the development at the just known as the Husky gas station. So that's under section 12F. And I will read the resolution of council. And it's quite a long one here. Let me correct that. It's actually not item F. It's actually item G, which is the development permit of 200 Hot Springs Road. It was moved by Councillor Facio and seconded by Councillor Jackson. And there's a lot of technical parts to it. And I'm going to skip the technical parts of it, but it's in the minutes of the meeting. And the motion was that the proposed development permit for 200 Hot Springs Road be referred to the advisory, there's a lot to this particular one. Bear with me a second. Could I ask for the corporate officer's assistance?
Yeah, no problem. I have a copy of the motion. I can just read out the beginning part.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Sure, yeah. So this was a motion that was passed at the February 5th, 2024 meeting. Moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Jackson, that this revised application be treated as substantially amended and that development permit DP 0222 be issued to Razin Enterprises Limited for property located at 200 Hot Springs Road, subject to a save harmless flood covenant, placement of any signs on the building, to have a sign bylaw, that the village receive an irrevocable letter of credit in the amount of $1,000,000 $93,750 and subject to comments received by the Ministry of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Thank you. So that motion passed. So this application, this motion again, is not whether the mayor has a right to reconsider it. It's just a revote on the exact same motion. So I just want to make it real clear so that all council members know. Again, it's just a revote on the same application. And I'm going to open this up for discussion. Any discussion on that development? Can you turn on your
There
mic?
is no discussion on this.
Can you turn
The only thing we do is vote on it. There's no discussion.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Allen,
There's
Yes,
no-
Mr. Mayor.
There. Know that.
Councillor
Quit
Jackson.
playing games.
Councillor Jackson, you're out of order. sir.
No, I'm not out of order. You are, sir.
Councillor Jackson, order, please. Councillor Allen, the other floor.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I thoroughly disagree with Councillor Jackson. When the mayor calls for reconsideration of a motion, he has a concern about it and he wants the council to reconsider the matter, to give it more thought and to either agree with the original decision or to disagree with that decision and suggest why it should be changed. And I believe that I have the right as a councillor to speak to council on that matter and to attempt to change the opinions of the councillors who voted for it to vote against it. In my consideration, the Husky gas station site is, in planning terms, an essential part of what Harrison will be in the future. It is the southwest corner of our main intersection with the traffic light. It is where all traffic arrives in Harrison Hot Springs. And of all properties that we are dealing with, we really need to listen closely to what the language says, both in our current official community plan and our past community plans. And that says we need to create a welcoming environment. We need to create a streetscape so that when people arrive in Harrison Hot Springs, they are delighted by what they find. It needs to be any development of that corner, and in fact, any property in the downtown core area, needs to be sensitive to the needs of not just the residents of the community, but the visitors in the business community. And if we fail to achieve the type of environment that makes them happy, we are dooming our community to failure. I cite as an example the village of Whistler. Whistler Village is overly successful and suffering from its success because they have applied proper planning principles, they have applied proper design guidelines, they've created streetscapes and buildings full of natural stone, curves, rocks, logs, and all of the things that people are looking for in a resort community. People are not coming to Harrison Hot Springs to see blocky square buildings like they can find in False Creek in Vancouver or in some of the developments in other communities of a utilitarian industrial nature. If we do not follow our own official community plan and design guidelines and insist that developments in the core area be made in a way that is sensitive to the environment, that reflects our heritage as a hot spring resort community, and in fact, a logging community, then we are dooming this village to being a continuation of the architectural disaster area that we see around us. I despair to think why anybody in their right mind would consider the building that is proposed here to be appropriate for Harrison Hot Springs. In my mind, it reflects a complete betrayal of the promises made to myself as a resident and investor in the community, and everybody else who's invested here, that was promised how the village was going to develop. in a rustic fashion with earth tones and a pleasant streetscape and buildings that were a delight to look at. And we're not getting that with this building. So to my mind, this proposal, with all due respect to the proponent and the person who owns the property, they certainly have the right to develop their property. We, as a community, have a right to insist that they do so in a sensitive manner and create something that we can be proud of, that what we have to look at every day. All too often, the developers and the architects blow into town with these ideas and put them forward. They do not have to live with the results. We who live here have to live with the results. And I do not, for one, want to have to drive up that road in the morning and look at what has been proposed for 200 Hot Springs Road. That site needs to be sensitively developed. I'm not even sure that it's appropriate that we have a filling station in the middle of town in the long term. I think that any planner would say that if we're going to maximize the use of our sites in the downtown core area, we need to use them for the highest and best use. And this, Mr. Mayor, is not the highest and best use of the land. I also have grave reservations about the description of this building as a hotel. Having been in the hotel and hospitality business in the industry for a long time, I know that you cannot run a hotel successfully to make any money with less than at least 60 rooms, and 100 is ideal. To suggest this is going to be a hotel with, I think, 16 rooms just does not make any economic sense. You cannot get enough revenue to meet your fixed overhead, and therefore it is not a hotel. It is some kind of an apartment building built to hotel standards, and it'll probably end up being strata titled and sold off as residential, as has happened before in Harrison Hot Springs, and we, the village, will be stuck with it again. So we need to have honesty in what is being proposed here. If it's going to be a hotel, it needs to be a proper hotel. It needs to have proper hotel rooms, reception area, guest parking, and everything. It doesn't have any of those things. It's not a hotel, and we should stop misleading people by calling it a hotel. It's some kind of an apartment building. I also feel that the view line, when you look across into Lillooet Avenue East, needs to be opened up and protected. Our own zoning bylaw requires just a 6-meter triangle to protect those view lines. In this particular intersection, because of the importance in the traffic and the volume, it needs to be actually more than that. And we, as a village council, have the right to ask and demand for more than that. If the building is to be developed in this way at all, really the structure that is proposed, which lies along Lillooet Avenue East, should be put back to back against the existing hotel, the Harrison Lake Hotel, I think it's called. And the front of the building opened up with more view lines, less shadows, and more openness and welcoming to the start of the village. So I'm extremely opposed to this proposal going forward, and I'm offended that it has come to this stage. I don't know if our advisory planning commission has had an opportunity to look at it. I don't think so. And again, we're missing these steps. We're not consulting with the public. We're not seeking ideas. We're not striving to be better. We're settling for whatever some out-of-town developer wants to put on the property and stick us with it for many years to come. So I'll be voting very much in opposition to approval of the proposed development at 200 Hot Springs Road. They need to do better if they're going to get a permit with my approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Vidal?
Thank you, Mayor Wood. I certainly don't share Councillor Allen's view. In fact, I like the look of the building and will continue to support the original motion. Thank you.
Councillor Facio?
I will be supporting the original motion, Mayor Wood, and of course, Mr. Allen is allowed to have his own thoughts on what he thinks should and should not be in the village. but that's only one man's thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you. The reason that this was brought back for recall was at the end of this, the meeting that this was heard. There was an email from a resident which had informed me that there appears to be a number of people that actually live in that, in the upper floor, I guess, or the back side of it. I don't know. But I think it's important for council to also realize that one of the main factors that Councillor Jackson was impressed was that it would have more hotel suites, more accommodation, and especially for big events. And I think there's a big World Cup coming here in the summer. But in fact, this now has a number of people that will be displaced or could possibly be displaced. And these are the these are the people that the hotels require to operate. If we keep getting rid of the lower income rental housing for the staff here, I can see a major problem. I can, from my own knowledge, the main hotel itself, the issue is the staff. They could not get, I don't know what it is to date, but I know recently that they have rooms that sit vacant because they can't get the staff. So how can staff that make the amount of money that are paid in these positions able to live and work in this village? So again, I just thought it was a gas station. I was not aware, and I don't know if it's actually even true that if there are people living in that building or not. And so that was the reason for the recall. I'll allow one last question, Councillor.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. What I did email the lady in question that you had an email as well. And she was making reference to the village mall, not the Husky station.
Thank you, Councillor. But there are people that are living above that. How many there are, I don't know. But I think it's important that councillors, that as council here, we have to think of the lost accommodations to these to the people here that actually run this village here, and they're a very important part to this community. So you ready to call the question?
Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to make one additional
Order,
observation.
Order, Councillor.
Okay.
Ready to call the question? All in favor?
The motion read again, please, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
I've already called the
Will
question.
you have the motion read again?
Councillor Vidal, I've already called the question. All in favor?
Are we talking about the original motion?
Councillor Vidal, you're out of order, please.
I'm asking a question, Mayor Wood. Are we voting on the original
Councillor
motion?
Vidal, you are out of order.
I am not out of order. I'm merely asking a question, Mayor Wood.
Councillor Vidal, you're out of order. The question has been called.
May I, no, may,
Councillor
what is
Vidal,
the question?
Councillor Vidal,
What is the question?
Councillor
Mayor Wood?
Vidal, I'm ordering you to be removed from this meeting. Councillor Vidal.
I am just asking a
Councillor
question.
Vidal, you've been ordered removed from this meeting.
I will not leave the meeting unless you tell me why are you asking me to leave the meeting?
Councillor Vidal, you're out of order. Please leave the meeting.
Why?
Councillor Vidal, you have been ordered by the mayor to leave.
Why?
You're out of order, Councillor.
Then call the question.
You're out of order, Councillor. You're out of order, Councillor Facio. Councillor Facio, please keep your remarks, or I will remove you from the meeting also. Order, please. Order, please. Councillor Vidal, you've been ordered removed from the meeting. Please leave.
May I ask
Please.
why?
Order.
May I ask why? Not going to leave the meeting unless there's a valid reason.
Councillor Vidal, you've been ordered to be removed from the meeting. Please leave the meeting.
I am not going to leave the meeting, Mayor Wood.
Order in the audience, please. You're out of order, Councillor. You're Order, please. Order, please, before I clear the gallery. Gallery, before I clear the gallery,
Mr. Mayor, I have something to say.
order. I call for order.
You're the person that needs to be in order. Not the people are
Councillor
here for a
Jackson,
meeting.
Councillor Jackson.
No,
you
just a
should-
sec.
Councillor Jackson, you
tired
do
of
not
your-
have the floor.
I am tired of your
Councillor
childishness.
Jackson. you
I
do
am
not have
tired
the
of it.
floor.
You're acting
You are
like a
out of
little
order.
child.
Councillor Jackson,
Would
if
you
you continue,
please grow up?
if you continue, Councillor Jackson, I will remove you from the office. Order, please. Councillor Bidell, you've been ordered removed from the meeting, please.
I will
Order,
not be
please.
I will not be leaving the meeting, Mayor Wood. If you wish to call the question, I'll vote on the question.
I order the gallery cleared. Please clear the gallery. Everyone, please leave. The meeting has finished. Please leave the meeting. The meeting is finished. The meeting is finished. Please, please. Counselor Jackson. Counselor Jackson. Counselor Jackson, you're out of order, sir. Counselor Jackson, you've been ordered also removed. Counselor Jackson. Counselor Jackson. Counselor Jackson. Counselor Jackson. Order, please. Order, please. Order, please. Order. Order, please. Order. Counselor Jackson, you're ordered removed from this meeting. Counselor Jackson, you're out of order, sir. Please remove yourself from the meeting. Order, please. The staff, please clear the gallery.
In order to clear the gallery, if you're continuing on with the meeting, we would have to pass a resolution to exclude the public or have a motion to adjourn.
The meeting is finished. Counselor Facio, you do not have the floor. Counselor Facio, Counselor Facio, Counselor Facio, please. Order, please. Counselor Facio, you have also been ordered removed from this meeting. Court, out of order, sir. We have now lost the quorum. This meeting is concluded. Meeting completed.
That will happen only if the councillors
You're out of
refuse to
order.
leave. If they stay, there is a quorum, Mayor Wood.
Out of order. This meeting is concluded. We've lost a quorum. Counselor, you have been ordered removed. Order, please.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to say that I feel threatened by some of the comments I'm hearing on my left. And I think this has become an unsafe situation and too volatile to carry on tonight. And that we need to all go home because I don't feel good sitting here being threatened as I am. And I might want the police to stay to make sure I get to my car. Thank you.